Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Season 2 of Speed Model. Well, as you guys know, over a year ago, I actually did something like this. Essentially, I was modeling a room in a 3D program called Blender. I took some time-lapse screen capture of everything I was doing, and eventually I strung them all together. I added some narration, and well, I essentially walked you through the construction of a room from start to finish. Well, guess what? And now that it's my holidays, I have time to do 3D stuff again. Well, Speed Model is coming back, and this time we're gonna make a few changes to the things we do. For one, I know I'm several years late on this, but I've finally updated to the latest version of Blender. One of the cool things about using this new version of Blender is that now I have access to the new Blender Cycles renderer, which is an advanced ray tracer that gives you really nice, realistic looking renders. So yeah, I hope you're looking forward to this journey as much as I am. New episodes of Speed Model will be coming out on Mondays, and well, they will continue until I finish this particular project. But well, I guess that's enough waffling for one episode. Let's actually jump in to watch me get started setting everything up. Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 1 of Speed Model. So, like any other interior design project, I begin with a cube, stretch it out to roughly the correct dimensions, and begin making cuts in a mesh to indicate where the windows are. I was still really new to the Blender Cycles renderer, so it took a bit of poking around before I realized I actually had to switch over to it. But I've just done that, and noticed how the live render suddenly looks a lot more interesting than before. I do apologize for the repeated flashing you see there. Ray trace scenes always take longer to render, and so they don't look so good on a time-lapse. Anyway, I tweak around with settings a little, and eventually discover how to make my windows emissive. See how they fill the scene with a nice glow. Now I add a new cube and stretch it out. This will serve as the basis for a table surface where all the work happens. Of course, I wanted it wooden, so I pop over to the internet to look for some texture maps. I'm looking through this site called Mayang's Free Textures. I take a look at a few textures and eventually choose one, though I realized I had no idea how to apply textures for this renderer. Cut a little forward in time after I've covered up for my incompetence. Now you can see me actually applying the texture to the cube. It turns out looking not so good, mainly because we couldn't actually see the texture at all. I experimented for a fairly long time to see how I could get the texture mapping correct. It's all trial and error. Now it doesn't have to be, but it's the best way to learn for a self-learner. Now this is one of the parts I like the most, actually making working furniture. So basically I'm slicing up the wooden cabinet and creating little recessed areas. Then I grab a new flattened cuboid, give it the wooden texture, and set it up as little doors. Of course, it takes a bit of finesse to get its position right. Now this is where I fail again. I actually spent some time crashing through the menus to find out how to make a very low resolution sphere. I ended up giving up and googling for the solution, which explains the jump in time. Anyway, I reposition it and give it a goldish glossy texture. I wanted to experiment with the nodes to see what I could do. Ultimately, I settled with just tweaking the roughness option to make the glossiness a little more diffused. This sphere is of course none other than the handle of the door. I pull back the camera to better admire all the work and duplicate the doors over to cover up all the other openings. And well, that's enough content for the day. Hopefully that gives you a good insight into, my new workflow with the newest version of Blender. Hopefully the look of the renders also have you pretty psyched about what's to come. I'm definitely very excited about, the whole look that this new renderer can create. Anyway, well, that's basically it for this episode of Speed Model. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next Monday. You're watching 0612 TV. Hello, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, remember that I appreciate every like, favorite, and comment you give me. If you'd like to see more from me in the future, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And for more updates outside of YouTube, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at 0612TV. Once again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.